Hi there and welcome to video number 2. In this one, in our preparation video for Growth Club, we're going to run through the actual planning process that you'll be running through when you come out to Growth Club. So I'm going to run through 5 things. Firstly, give you a quick overview of the materials that you'll be using on the day and that you've got with you right now. And then the actual planning process, which is 4 key stages: setting your goals, coming up with the right strategies, filling in the task or the actions to be able to execute on the strategy, and then transferring that information to a one-page plan, which is the finished document that you're going to be finishing up with at Growth Club. So I'll give you a quick look at that. So at the end of Growth Club, end of the planning day, you're going to end up with this 11 by 17 one-pager that's going to give you all the details of the things you need to execute on, you're working towards for the next 90 days. So firstly, materials. There's 3 key materials that you're going to be using. One you've got right now, and that's your 90-day planning workbook. So you should have received this by email. If you haven't, get in touch with Debbie at our office, and she can give you, send you a copy of that. Make sure you've got that printed out while you're watching this video so you can follow along with me. The other one that you'll receive on the day is your 12-month planning workbook. And in this workbook, you write down your 12-month goals so you can sort of have them cast in concrete, so to speak. And there's also several checklists and little tools for you to go through to find out what you should be working on. And I'll explain more of that in a second. The last one is your one-pager, which I showed you previously. So they're the 3 main tools or piece of material that we're going to walk through. The focus of this video is going to be looking at the 12-month workbook and the 90-day workbook. So grab your 90-day workbook out there, and if you want to flip to page 4, actually just prior to page 4, the first page 3 there just runs through some of the logistics of the day, you know, where it is, the timing and agenda and that sort of stuff. But page 4 gives you the outline of the planning process. Stage 1 is things you do before you get there, and we're going to run through that on this video. And then when you actually get to Growth Club, there's 4 other stages, and they are, as I've mentioned here, the goals, the strategy, filling in the task or the actions to execute on the strategy, and then the one-pager. So moving on, you can see one of the first things we're going to do is establish our goals. Actually, before I cover that, let's have a look at the pre-workbook. The pre-workbook, 3 stages for the pre-work. Number 1, and this is on page 6, is a reflection on what happened in the last 90 days. You know, as entrepreneurs, sometimes we're more focused on just moving forward. Sometimes we've got to look back and see, you know, what have we done to either get a sense of accomplishment or maybe to provoke the dissatisfaction to kick your butt and get you into gear. Then on page 7, you're going to have your first crack at writing your goals out. These don't have to be final and cast in concrete, but at least put some thought into firstly your 12-month goals, where you want to be in 12 months' time, and then the next 90 days, you know, what do you have to execute or achieve in the next 90 days to stay on track with 12 months. Now, depending on what time of year you're coming out to Growth Club, if it's a January session or December session, you're obviously going to be planning for the next 12 months. If you're halfway through the year, you can decide whether you want to set goals 12 months out or whether 6 months out to stay in tune for the calendar year, or maybe you're working to your fiscal year. It doesn't really matter. The point is that you've got some longer term goals out there to give you guidance to the direction that your 90-day goal should take. If you just keep setting 90-day goals all the time, then you might keep changing directions. You need an overriding direction to keep you on track. The last part that we want you to do in your pre-work is to look at some of your core numbers. This page here on page 8 lists one of the profit tools that we use, which we call the 5 ways. So take a look at that. If that's double Dutch to you and you've got no idea what that's all about, then take a look at our video on an introduction or an overview of the 5 ways that's also on this YouTube channel. Or you can always pick up the phone and give us a call or send us an email, and we can walk you through that. But they're the key things. Having your numbers worked out and knowing what your goals are going to look like for the next 90 days puts you in a good position to enter Growth Club. If you don't do any of this prep work beforehand, then you're going to come to Growth Club pretty confused about where to start, and you won't get the most out of the day. So invest a couple of hours to run through this stuff so you can be off and running when you get there. So once you get to Growth Club, we're going to start with the goals. Getting clarity on what you've already done in your pre-work, make sure that makes sense for you, and make sure they're smart goals. And we'll educate you on all that sort of stuff on the day. But you're going to write your goals down in your 90-day workbook, and also transfer at least your 12-month goals to the 12-month workbook, which you'll get on the day. Once we're clear on goals, and they are very important, there's another video that I've got running you through how to set good goals. So if you've never done that before, make sure you look at that video, or if you're not good at goal setting, make sure you watch that video as well. But once you've got your goals established, we need then to work out, okay, how are we going to achieve the goals? So that's where we get down to a strategy. Now, each strategy you're going to have to move you towards your goals is going to have a strategy page, and you can see an example of that on page 10. So this example here, we've got a goal around profitability, and the strategy is around hiring 2 sales professionals to help increase the sales. And you can see there that this strategy is then broken down. So the strategy is hiring the sales reps, and then down all this content down below there, that's all the task detail, filling in the specific action steps you have to take, including who's going to do it, by when, how much it's going to cost, and the time frame. The reason we do that, to go to that level of detail, is say you've thought through the process. Too many times we see people come up with plans that are way too ambitious in terms of the amount of time or dollars required to execute on it. So putting the thought into doing it up front means you can get realistic about your plan and make sure you've got something you're going to be able to execute against. So at the end of the day, you're going to have 1 goal, maybe 2 goals, and rarely 3 goals in your plan. I really encourage you to stick to 1 goal. And then you might have 2 or 3 strategies you're going to execute on for each goal. So say you've got 2 goals and 3 strategies for each goal, we're going to have 6 of these strategy pages. Once you've got clarity on all that, the simple process then is to take all that information and just to transfer it onto this 1 page. This 1 page, and you'll get this on the day. Room up here to write your goal, and then the strategy pertaining to that goal. And then down here, these boxes are all the different weeks of the quarter coming up. And you write down the specific action steps that you have to be taking each week. So the idea is when you get back to the office, you can stick this up on the wall right in front of your desk, and you can see very clearly, okay, what do I have to focus on today? So that's the overview. If you've got any questions based on what you've just heard, then certainly give us a call or send us an email, and we can answer any questions you've got up front. This video is just meant to be an introduction for you, so you've got an idea on what you're going to go through on the day. We will provide more explanation for you on the day, and we'll be there to give you guidance as you go through it. So that's it. So we enjoy looking forward to meeting you at Growth Club.